Take the necessary few seconds to take good care of your Buzz Barber clipper, and your Buzz Barber clipper will deliver many years of peak performance and wonderful haircuts. Here's all you need to do. Packed in with your Buzz Barber clipper is a tiny little clipper cleaning brush. Use that brush to brush off any loose or accumulated clippings anywhere around the blade area. Then, with the clipper on and the clipper running, apply 2 drops of clipper oil directly down on the running teeth and 1 drop of clipper oil at the inside rear corner of the moving blade. Let the clipper run for just a second to spread the oil between the blades, shut the clipper off, and pick up a clean towel. Wipe up any excess oil anywhere around the blade area, and you're good to go. You're ready to cut. Before or after, every time you use your Buzz Barber clipper, that little bit of oil and cleaning will help you get many years of peak performance. Michael has a full head of thick blonde hair, perfect for a classic buzz and spike haircut. We're going to use our Buzz Barber clipper. We're going to clipper up the back and sides. We're going to spike up the top. We're going to line and edge him for a great haircut. Let's take a look. The first step in a classic buzz and spike haircut is to clipper the back and sides using a snap-on attachment guide or guard. Your Buzz Barber clipper comes with a complete set of snap-on attachment guides or guards, and the lengths are indicated on the back in numbers. This is a number 4, inches, it's a 1/2 inch, and millimeters, 13 millimeters. You want to install your guard on the clipper by inserting the teeth into the guard and then snapping down, and you'll hear a solid click that tells you the guard is safely and securely in place on your clipper. Now it's time to clipper cut. Here we go. Let's start clipper cutting. We've got our guard in place on our clipper. We're going to start at the front temple. We're going to work our way all the way around the head. We come in, we come up, and we come out. We come in and we come up and we come out. Notice we're going to overlap the rows and sections so we're sure not to miss any hair. We'll fold the ear down out of the way and hold it to protect it. And we keep clippering. We clipper from the bottom of the hair up to the widest point of the head, right about here. As we overlap the rows, you'll see we get nice, even clippering all the way around the head. We're going to continue this process all the way around the head and stop at the opposite side. Now it's time to clipper cut the top of the head. We're going to take sections of hair, little pieces of hair, we're going to comb them up and hold them up. We're going to use our fingers to determine how much hair we want to have and how much hair we want to cut off, and it's going to look like this. We'll comb it up, we'll hold it up, and then we're going to slide our Buzz Barber clipper along the top of our fingers, just like that, to cut off the hair that extends out beyond our fingers, leaving behind that shorter length. Now, once you've cut a first section that way, you'll pick up the next section of hair and look for a piece of the previously cut hair in your fingers to serve as your guide, and cut the extra hair that extends off to match to that guide. Always pick up a piece of the previously cut section in your fingers to serve as your guide so that you can cut a consistent length all the way throughout the top of the hair. Keep cutting through the top of the hair in that same manner, always picking up a piece of the previously cut section in your fingers to serve as a guide. Comb it, hold it, and cut it. Look for that previous section and match it up. Always following your guide. If you follow your guide and you don't lose track of the guide, and you always have a little piece of that guide, you'll get an even and consistent length throughout the entire haircut, just like a professional. The Buzz Barber clipper will give you professional results every time. Now it's time to tie the clippered back and sides into the spiky top. We're going to use our comb held at an angle. When we come in at an angle like this, you see a little bit of the short hair in the bottom of the comb and the longer hair above it, and all we're going to do is connect and blend through. Look how we pick up that hair. We look for the shorter hair in the bottom of our comb and the longer hair above it, and as we come in and keep it at an angle. If you work horizontally like that, it's going to put steps and marks in your haircut. By working at an angle, you're going to get smooth blending from the clippered back and sides up into the top. You're going to continue this process all the way around the head until you finish the haircut at the opposite side. The next step in the haircut is finishing out the neckline. We're going to use our Buzz Barber clipper with the lever pushed forward with the teeth as far forward as possible to give us the cleanest, sharpest lines. It's easy to block the neckline. Start in the center, and work your way out to one side. Notice taking small bites, overlapping, and creating our line around the back of the neck. After the line is in place, we'll turn the clipper over and we'll clean up any hair outside the line to give us a neat and clean finish. I cut one side, now I'll go in and I'll cut the other side as well. The sideburn and ear area is an important part of the finished details of a haircut. With your Buzz Barber clipper adjusted all the way up so the cutting teeth and the fixed teeth are as close as possible, you'll get the cleanest, sharpest line. Block your sideburn and clean up the area beneath your sideburn. Then fold the ear down out of the way and use one tooth at the very corner of the clipper blade to define the line around the ear. Fold the ear forward and connect through from the back, and you get a nice clean arc all the way around the ear. Complete one side, turn them around, and do the same on the opposite side. That's Buzz Barber sharing with you a classic Buzz and Spike haircut. We used a snap-on attachment guide or guard to clipper in the back and sides. We used a clipper against or over our fingers technique to spiky out the top. We blended the back and sides together, and we used our Buzz Barber clipper to line and edge for a perfect finish. Simple haircut, easy to do. Buzz Barber makes it fast and fun. Lisa's got some longer hair, and your Buzz Barber clipper is great for clipper cutting longer lengths of hair. Just because we're clipper cutting doesn't mean we're clipper cutting short. We're going to use our Buzz Barber clipper to create a classic bobbed haircut on Lisa. Take a look. The first step in cutting longer lengths of hair is cutting not all of it at the same time. There's just too much hair to work with, so you're going to divide it or subdivide it. I parted off her hair. I left the bottom hanging down like this, and we're going to clip up on top some of the top section so that we can create our starting length working just with that bottom portion of the hair. The next step is to create our guide length for the haircut. After we section the hair off, we comb the hair smoothly, we hold the hair in our fingers, and we use our Buzz Barber clipper to clipper off the hair that extends out beyond our fingers to create or establish the guide length for the haircut. We can come in perpendicular, as you see there, or we can come in parallel to our fingers to begin to establish that guide. Once the guide length is created at the center, we're going to continue that length out to both sides, working all the way around the head. To keep things even and precise, it helps if you start at the center and you go out to one side, and then you go back to the center and go out to the other side. Alternating back and forth from side to side like that helps to create a nice even haircut all the way around. Once the guide length has been created, take more hair down little by little. If they've got really thick and heavy hair, take small amounts of hair, but if the hair's thinner and finer, you can drop down a little more hair. Kind of the rule in hair cutting is, if you can't see the guide length through it, don't cut it. You want to keep track of and be sure you can continue to see that guide length you created. Comb sections down, look for the guide, and simply match them up. It's that easy. Follow the guide and don't cut your guide. Continue that all the way through this side, all the way through the other, and then continue bringing more hair down until you've cut all the hair to the new bob length. The basic bob length is now in place. You can customize the haircut a number of different ways. If you'd like to add layers, layering refers to the idea that not all the hair makes its way all the way down to the baseline. Sections of hair can be lifted up at the top of the head and can be cut with your Buzz Barber clipper across the top of your fingers. That'll lighten up the haircut, create some softness and movement. You can also add bangs to the haircut. If you'd like to add bangs or a front fringe, you can comb out a section of hair. That section of hair can be trimmed at the eye, above the eye, or shorter if you'd like. Again, with your Buzz Barber clipper against your fingers to create a fringe length. You can also create angling and details in through the sides to connect the fringe to the bottom. In order to connect the fringe to the bottom, sections of hair would be combed down and clippings would be made along the length throughout the entire face. A basic bob can be customized many different ways, and your Buzz Barber clipper gives you all the choices and options. Lisa's bob haircut is a great example of clipper cutting longer lengths of hair. Just because we're clipper cutting doesn't mean we're clipper cutting short. We can clipper cut any length of hair with our Buzz Barber clipper as long as we have some tips, tricks, and techniques, the things that make it easy to make your Buzz Barber clipper do great things with any length of hair. Now we're going to clipper cut textured hair with our Buzz Barber clipper. Textured hair ranges from tight, kinky, curly hair to not so curly, kind of wavy hair and every other texture in between. And your Buzz Barber clipper and a full set of snap-on attachment guides and guards makes the process of clipper cutting textured hair easy and fun. Let's take a look at the steps involved in cutting a classic clipper cut on Dominique's textured hair. The first step in clipper cutting textured hair is clipper cutting the top. We're going to use our Buzz Barber clipper and a number 4 snap-on attachment guide or guard. All of the clipper guards are numbered with the number, the inches, ½ inch, and millimeters, 13 millimeters. Insert the teeth into the clipper guard first, snap it back, and listen for the click. You get a nice solid click when the guard snaps in place and it's on the clipper safely and securely. With the clipper, with the lever in the closed position all the way up, turn your clipper on, we're going to clipper cut the top. There's a technique here we call guard your guard. Notice my fingertips are on the back of the guard while I'm cutting. If the guard is loose or the guard falls off, I want to know about it before it's going to happen. Holding my fingers on the guard, I'm going to clipper cut the top of his hair. I'm going to overlap my sections. I'm working against the natural growth direction. Generally speaking, on the top of the head, the hair grows forward, so we're going to work from front to back as we cut down the top. Always overlapping the rows or sections, making sure we don't skip or miss any hair, and working our way front to back through the top of the head. We'll also move our way down the sides as we complete the top. We don't need to go further down than here because we'll cut that in the sides later. We'll cut through the top on the opposite side as well. Complete this technique overlapping your sections until the entire top of the head has been cut evenly throughout. The next step in our clipper cut is clipper cutting the back and sides. Select a clipper guard for the length that you wish to have on the back and sides of the head. We used a 4 on top, we're using a 2 on the back and sides. With a guard on our clipper, we're going to work down and up, from down to up through the head. Again, we're going to overlap our sections, always overlapping into a piece of the previous section. We'll fold the ear forward. We're coming up from below against the natural growth direction to get good, even, finished cutting throughout the back and sides of the head. We'll continue to work our way around the head, always overlapping the sections. We'll get to the center back and we'll continue all the way out around the opposite side until we've completed cutting the entire back and sides of the head with our slightly shorter guard. Now it's time to tie the bottom, back, and sides together with the top. We've used our 4 guard, a longer guard on top. We used our 2 guard, a shorter guard on the back and sides. To tie the two together, we pick the guard in between, and that would be our number 3. Using our number 3 guard, we're going to clipper cut just the area in between where the top and sides come together. There'll be a little bit of a step, a ledge, a ridge, or a line that you'll see, and that number 3 guard will make that line beautifully go away. We'll work through one side around the back, and then we'll repeat the process on the opposite side, tying the short back and sides together with the slightly longer top to create a nice, smooth, finished haircut. Now we're going to use our Buzz Barber clipper to block and clean the neckline of our textured haircut. We can come in 90 degrees or perpendicular to the neckline with the blade adjusted close or closed and tap our line. Tap your line, working all the way around from the center out to one side, then come back to the center and work your way out the opposite side. After you've put the line in place, turn the clipper over and clean up any hair outside the line for a crisp, clean finish. The last step in trimming and finishing a textured clipper cut is trimming around the ear area. Using the last tooth on the corner of the blade with our clipper on, we'll come around the ear to the top, We'll turn from the back, we'll fold the ear down forward, and we'll come around the ear, completing the ear arc at the top, getting a nice clean finish around the ear. Without the beard, we'd also block a sideburn on both sides and clean up the area beneath the sideburn as well to finish the haircut. Dominique's haircut is a classic clippered haircut on textured hair. We used our snap-on attachment guides or guards. You get a full set with your Buzz Barber clipper. The guards make it easy, Buzz Barber makes it fun.